Hi, it's Dr. Pavanka. I wanted to talk about some things you can do to make your veterinary visit a little bit less stressful on your pet. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the things that the Fear Free handout has on how to have a good trip to the vet clinic. We'll talk later in a different video about some things on the way home that we might want to think about. But I just wanted to have a video version so you could refer back to it, just so if you're more of an auditory learner or a visual learner, you might have a different modality you can see that with. So with this, a lot of the things are kind of self-explanatory as far as things go. We want to make sure that you give yourself enough time so you're not stressed, because as a tech in Illinois once told me, sometimes that anxiety does travel down the leash. I had one of my own who very much was that way. And I honestly had to look at my calendar to figure out why he was showing stress signs, because I didn't think I was stressed and I didn't think he should be stressed, but he definitely fed off of my schedule and the things that were bigger events on my schedule. So make sure that you have enough time to get there, that you're not stressed with the drive. Go ahead and make sure that you have some type of carrier for the cats. Typically with cat carriers, we recommend having 2 different openings just so that there's ease of getting them in and out. And then also the carrier should be left in an area where the cat is more used to it and it's not something that is scary and only comes out when they go to the scary lady who pokes them with needles. So with that, have something that has either your scent on it or a scent that they like, or using the calming pheromones by like Feel Away or some of the other companies that have those. Sometimes that can help calm them and make them feel better. You can play music in the car. Sometimes that helps, but I wouldn't do anything too loud. And I would try to kind of have a lower volume as well as lower intensity. We don't want any death metal if the dogs and cats aren't used to it and that's not their thing. I think statistically, at least with horses, they found that jazz and country seem to be more related to calming behaviors with the horses and how they responded to that music. I don't know if I've seen anything specific to dogs and cats, but I have seen classical music used for like photographers who are working more with pets. But anything that's more calming for them, if you want to, there are many videos on YouTube for calming music for dogs and cats or calming sounds for dogs and cats. But the gist is we want calming smells, calming sounds, low volume, and then we want a carrier or a seat that's going to help them be a little bit more secure in the vehicle so they're not being thrown around in the vehicle, because that is going to increase their stress level. As far as when you get to the clinic, please do let the clinic know that you're there. If your dog or your cat gets worked up by being in the clinic, I would go ahead and see if you can get the clinic to let you know when the room opens up, and then you can bring them straight into the exam room. A lot of times, especially with clinics that do try to be a little bit more fear-free, because there are clinics who are certified in fear-free, and then there are clinics like Village Vet where I work, where we do have individuals who are certified in either calming strategies for cats or fear-free, which I am certified as. So with that, you want to make sure that you schedule appropriately too. So a lot of times if I have any say in it, if I have a dog who does not like other dogs, I like them to be scheduled at lower traffic times where I can work with them a little bit more, and where they can come either directly into the room or they have minimal contact with other dogs so that they don't get worked up and upset about that. The same thing with cats. We try not to have them in the lobby with a bunch of dogs. So if I do have cats, a lot of times I like them to come in directly and leave as soon as they can, so everything works perfectly. But honestly, sitting and settling in the car, as long as they aren't getting worked up in the car, isn't always a bad thing. Another thing that I always try to do is if I know that they hate the vet clinic and I know we might have limited time with them, I will try to make sure that we have our needs versus our wants, because sometimes we really need to have that rabies vaccine and we might really want to have a nail trim, but we might not be able to get both in. So I do try to prioritize things and try to plan the best trip that I can for them if I have any say at all as far as what we do. I've definitely done that with surgery patients at previous clinics where I've had them come in before the clinic opened even, just to make sure that they had their pre-medication before the clinic really woke up, and they were able to go into surgery and have the most calming and restful time coming in. The other thing to keep in mind is a lot of fear-free clinics, but other clinics in general, have really adopted the pre-visit protocol, or I think Cornell calls it the chill protocol. That's what we call it at my clinic, at least. And that's basically medications to help have a better experience during the visit. They're calming medications. I know I've heard a lot of people say that they use them for the dentist for themselves, just because it's one of those really anxiety-causing experiences. Another thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about medications would be also to think about maybe doing an anti-nausea medication if you know your dog or your cat gets car sick. And I would go ahead and talk to your vet about that and make sure that you can plan appropriately for that. A lot of these medications do take time to fully kick in. And what I found with my own animals and with clients' animals is that if you rush it and you give it too soon or too close to the time of departure, they can fight it. And my dog definitely fought her chill protocol for car rides for 5 hours straight on the way to a family funeral a couple years back. So do plan accordingly, make sure that those meds are in their system as needed, and do talk to your vet to make sure you find the best protocol for your pet.